But for the path to enlightenment, to your higher self, it's easier. You just observe your normal breathing, your low breathing. You don't have to control it extra. You just breathe and watch it. Welcome. Today I'd like to talk about pain, but in connection with meditation. Fortunately, meditation is nowadays very integrated in the medical system, in the normal medical system. I don't mean in shamanic treatment or like other alternative medical treatments. I mean in the official medical system, meditation is very established. I think this is even longer in America, but also in other regions of the world. More and more people benefit from meditation through the medical system. In my region, in Europe, it is, I think, not so long established, maybe 5 or 10 years, absolutely maximum, not more, not longer. But I started to benefit from it earlier, and I could reduce pain several times, or actually every time, just through a breathing method, just through deep breathing. And at the same time, when I had this pain, I also reduced eating and just ate clear soup or other things and drank more water. And this was, for me, in my experience, also additionally a support to reduce the pain, so that you have not so heavy food, and especially not fast food and kind like that. But the most thing which I could figure out was that meditation, that the breathing method itself was the main cause why I could reduce this pain again and again. And that was great. And therefore I want to tell this here. And nowadays there is so much evidence in medical system, in psychology, in neuroscience, that meditation gives such good results. For example, the MBSR program from Kabat-Zinn is very great and very famous since almost 50 years or so in America, and now more and more here too. But this is very expensive. I have seen the prices for this program, so it's better you learn it on your own. And you have always, just through the very simple thing you have, your breathing, you have the best method to reduce your own pain, whatever you have. There are research reports even that when people have cancer, their pain could be reduced. It's no evidence that the cancer is reduced or that the meditation takes away the disease itself. Sometimes there are wonders like that, but generally this doesn't work. It is just that it reduces the pain, but the disease itself is still there. Our bodies are a very limited thing, as you know. And of course, one day we die, and therefore it breaks and breaks and breaks, and diseases come and some doesn't disappear. That's a normal thing. And even Buddha died from a disease. So you can see even an enlightened dies from a disease. It's not that just we can die and an enlightenment is safe from that. No. And this is the main topic or the main point on this channel. I don't want it to talk just about that you breathe and you decline your pain with breathing. For that, there are lots of other channels. But here we connect this also with your self-development, with your path to your higher self. And exploring the higher self is the same as enlightenment. And therefore, I want to also talk about that here and not just breathe and everything is fine and you have no pain. But with all breathing methods in the medical system and in other areas of life where they use breathing methods to make their life better, they forget the main target, and which is actually the biggest target. And this is this kind of self-development when you explore your higher self. And there are also breathing methods for that too, but they are more about observing the breathing. It is not for the medical system, and for reducing your pain, you extra breathe deeper. and you control your breathing, that you breathe deeper and you have longer breaths and so. But for the path to enlightenment, to your higher self, it's easier. You just observe your normal breathing, your low breathing. You don't have to control it extra, and you don't have to say to your breathing extra, now deeper, please. And so, no, you don't have to consider that. You just breathe and watch it. Like the other observing methods too, when you observe your ego, when you observe your thoughts, your emotions, that's the same thing. You just observe the body. And when you continue that, in the best case for hours, this is the biggest development you can actually do. And things will come up then, as it is actually also said from the researchers in medical system, and so that the mind always tries to run away from meditation. And the first thing when you have a breathing method for reducing pain or for self-development, whatever breathing method it is, the first thing your mind says, and you already know that, otherwise you would not be on such a channel, you know that your mind is saying, that's boring. That's boring. We could do something better. And in the case of the pain, the mind thinks about taking a pill against the pain. And then we can continue working or whatever we wanted to do. But as you know, pills are not the most healthiest thing. And in the case of the breathing method for the higher self, which is even more boring, the mind, the first thing what the mind says is, it's boring. What are we doing here? We could do something better. We could use our time in better ways instead of meditation. This is what the mind always wants. And especially when you are on the path to connect with your higher self, your mind tries to flee, of course, because for the higher self, the mind has to make place and has to go away, that you have the connection to the higher self. The mind has to calm down. This is one reason why he runs, or he or she or it or whatever runs away from meditation. But this basic breathing method for self-development is so essential, because at the end, when you reach the higher self, you also can bear your pain. You also can reduce your pain, but even more, and you don't have to breathe extra deep or in extra ways to do that when you are in the higher self. Because enlightenment, the higher self, this state of mind, this mode is, for example, in Buddhism also called the end of all sufferings. The end of all sufferings, that means you don't suffer anymore. But it doesn't mean you don't have bodily pain anymore. There are several points here, and I try to explain it. You still have bodily pain. And Buddha also died and had a disease, but he didn't suffer anymore because he was in this higher self. And this is another mode from which you don't judge the suffering. You don't judge, oh, that's so bad and I'm so sick, because this is one aspect why you suffer even more, because you think about that's so sick and you judge that is so bad. And so the mind makes the pain even worse in every case because of this judgment about the pain. But with the higher self, you can bear the pain suddenly. It can be there, and unfortunate life circumstances could also be there, but you don't suffer anymore from the circumstances. They are there, but you're in happiness. You're in a different mode. You have the full happiness, whatever happens around you. Even emotional pain is away then, because whatever people say to you, you don't suffer anymore. Because there is no I, no ego, which suffers from that. It goes through you, or maybe it comes sometimes also back to the person which tries to attack you, because he or she attacks you, but there is no I. And so this person maybe could feel pissed because the person expects a reaction from you, but you don't react. You just bear this pain or whatever comes there, or this attack, but no emotional pain appears into you. And then the attacker will be disappointed and will suffer even more. But you don't suffer then. You are free. And therefore it's so important, this path, to follow this path of enlightenment, of finding the higher self. And yes, there are sometimes wonders that people heal at the same time when they had a chronic disease before or so. But the most essential thing is not the healing, because not in every case when someone becomes enlightened, there is kind of a healing, that the body is still there. And it could also be that the body is still unhealthy. But the point is that you suddenly don't suffer. And this is not that you just change a mindset. You could also say you change a mindset. That's also a step in development, that someone first of all judges a disease negative and suffers more from that. And then he changes his standpoint and tries to think positive. But it's not thinking positive. Enlightenment is much bigger than just changing your mindset or change your mind and think suddenly positive. So about the disease, that's okay, that's a step, and lots of people do this too, and this is not bad. But the highest step is better. The highest step is the end of all sufferings. And I wish you this end of all sufferings to reach. And therefore, we could go this way together here on this channel, because I'm also striving for these highest targets, as you know. And you could find several stuff here, like meditation methods, depth, psychological and neuroscientific background of the ego, the mind, and philosophical background about the higher self. So stay tuned. Have a nice time. See you soon. Bye.